Well, after 3 sprint days, this is the big one. The Queen Stage, Stage 4 of Tour of Guangxi, will take the riders from Nanning to Mashan Nongla Scenic Point. Just 2 classified climbs along the way for the riders. The first, a Category 3 ascent relatively early on in the stage. The second, the summit finish to Nongla that will go a long way to deciding the overall honours of this year's Tour of Guangxi. 3 intermediate sprints along the way, but it's all focused on the final climb.
Yes, of course, today is the Queen Stage of this race. It's a really punchy climb. You have to be really fresh, and yes, we'll see. There are a lot of riders that have a good shape, and, strong riders. Then on a short climb like this, it's really open. The shape is good, and I have a few good races in the last part of the season. Now obviously I'm tired as well after the Worlds. I felt a bit more tired, but yes, I will try to do my best and race for the win.
Well, Gianni Moscon has hopes of glory later on. Fabio Jakobsen, resplendent in red. He has already tasted glory. His Stage 3 success propelling him into the overall race lead, but he's unlikely to be leading at the end of today. The sprinters have had their fun over the first 3 days, and well, now it's left up to the climbers. Among them, perhaps Sylvain Dillier, resplendent in the polka dot jersey of leading climber. This is an altogether very different assault than we've had over the first couple of days. The action right from the get-go, and it's Team Quick-Step Floors that want to get involved as Max Schachmann decides to stretch his legs and see who else is interested. EF Education first have great interest in this stage. Of course, they've got the climbers Hugh Carthy and, of course, most prominently, Rigoberto Urán, who'll be looking forward to the battle to come later on. Well, 3 riders have ventured forth. Roger Kluge of Mitchelton, Scott among them, Pascal Encorn in the yellow colours of Team Lotto NL Jumbo, and the great Swiss time trialist Stefan Kung making a 3-rider breakaway group, and the main peloton spread wide across the road seem entirely satisfied with that one, as the Trek Segafredo squad, joined by Quick-Step Floors and EF Education first on the front of the peloton, are setting a tempo to keep those 3 riders up front within touching distance. Roger Kluge has decided to drop back to the peloton as the main group sweeps through the feed zone. Some musettes to be dispensed with, and new ones to be collected as well. Important to get the sustenance on board for what's a relatively long stage, but more importantly, it really has a sting in the tail with the climb to Nongla as the peloton stretch thin, heading towards the conclusion and heading towards that climb that is set to whittle down this group and really reduce them in number. Through the intermediate sprints, well, Stefan Kung takes the first sprint of the afternoon, but that one not exactly contested. Pascal Encorn behind, and Fabio Jakobsen would pick up the final bonus second and some points as well. Manuele Boaro gets his instructions from the UAE Team Emirates car as Stefan Kung and Pascal Encorn roll through the second sprint of the day. On the front of the peloton, well, it's the Trek Segafredo squad, EF Education first as well. Clearly want to propel their general classification contenders into perfect and prime position into the bottom of that climb to come. Stefan Kung looks like he's enjoying himself. The watts he's putting out, though, well, they would create agony for almost anyone else, but Pascal Encorn looks certainly equal to the challenge of assisting his breakaway companion. Encorn, the 21-year-old, stage win in the Colorado Classic already this year, as Dries Debenins just picks up bottles from the car. So continuing to roll on, this time Encorn takes the 3rd and final sprint of the day ahead of Stefan Kung, and now it's business for these 2 riders who want to persevere for as long as possible, but into the final climb, and the attacks from the bottom really whittling down the group as Gianni Moscon forges clear. Is it for glory? It's absolute consternation behind as while the riders all over the road to try and retain position as they just sweep from left to right. Moscon clear of the rest. Rigoberto Urán just behind, across the top of the King of the Mountains, the final points of the afternoon. Moscon will take those, and with them the lead in the climbing classification, but that's not what he's here for. He wants that stage win, and with it the overall race lead, and gets out of the saddle, and really it is absolute agony. He just wants to flop back into the saddle, but he won't do it. Inside the final 175 metres. It's been a tough and challenging season in so many ways for this controversial character, but Gianni Moscon really wants to prove a few doubters wrong with this victory, and he's heading towards World Tour stage success in Tour of Guangxi on stage 4. Moscon has a little look around, but no one is going to prevent him from getting his hands in the air. It is stage victory for Gianni Moscon, and behind him, well, it's been a great scrap between Felix Grossgartner managing to get up for second place out of Sergei Chernitsky. No doubt about the man who got the win, though. Gianni Moscon of Team Sky is a race winner in the final week of the road racing season.
We were almost everyone full gas. I think when I saw that also the other riders were really tired, I did say now is the moment. I didn't think a lot about this. It was just a feeling, and I attacked straight away. I took some gap and then I pushed until the end. The most important thing was winning today, of course, but the stage of tomorrow is a long stage, also pretty hard with some climbs. Then I will expect for sure a big battle tomorrow.
Well, it's a win that means a lot to the 24-year-old Italian, 5th in the World Championship road race, but there's nothing like taking the victory, and with it, of course, the overall race lead. He's resplendent in red. It's going to be tough to shift, isn't he, after that dominant performance for the Team Sky man. So Gianni Moscon now in the overall race lead. It's a narrow but impressive advantage, and well, Fabio Jakobsen still all smiles. He's got the lead and a handy lead in the points competition. And Moscon leads the King of the Mountains as well after that great climb up to Nongla. And the Italian is also the best young rider under 25 years of age. Still very much an emerging talent, a blossoming one. As indeed is Stefan Kung, the most active rider, the most aggressive rider of the Stage 4. And he's all smiles as he receives his prize and some champagne to be sprayed for the riders and for everyone around the podium at this beautiful finish line location at Nongla. More climbs for the riders to look forward to tomorrow as well. A potential banana skin for Moscon and Team Sky. They've got some defending to do.